record.
Here it is. It's recording.
This thing is touchy. Touch and go. Do you see? Okay. I don't think that's where we're starting. All right. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this presentation. And I am going to, this is my capstone presentation, and I'm so excited that this is where we are. So.
Hi, my name is Lisa, and I am a executive coach, and I am so excited that I am at the end of the program at Townsend Institute at Concordia University. 18 months ago, I set out on this journey and pursuing my master's in executive coaching and consulting. I knew when I started the program, I was prepared to learn a lot of new things. I just didn't know what exactly I was going to learn. I looked at the course syllabus, I saw the program outline, I was like, sounds like great things, but I just didn't realize the impact the learnings were going to have on my growth as a coach and as a person in general. I came into the program already a personal and executive coach with the CAP Institute. That's where I was certified with Valerie Burton's program there, and knew that I had a lot of excellent skills. But with the Townsend Institute, I have just gained so much insight into being a coach, and not just being a coach, but coaching present, and also me as a person, and how when I grow as a person, I also grow as a coach, and I'm able to help others reach their full potential. So sit back, get ready for my presentation. I'm so excited because this presentation, this capstone, means that I am at the end of the program. So yay! I'm so excited. Thank you very much and enjoy.
All right. I'm going to try to play it again. All right, so I'm going to give you an overview of my presentation content, and I'm going to start this presentation by just reviewing the Townsend Institute, the Competence and Character Growth Structure Plan. I'm going to talk about the areas of growth that I've had in character development and competency development, give you some insights in the areas of character development and also competency development, my continued path to growth after the Institute, and my personal legacy statement. And that, my friends, there is my life team that I met at the beginning of my program here at the Institute. Okay, so I wanted to first talk about the importance of growth and development in leadership. I personally think we must never stop learning, and especially if you're going to lead others. Growing and development is important if you want to be effective as a leader, explore new opportunities, learn new skills, gain influence, and have impact. Character in leadership. As leaders, we all know life has demands. We have a life and we're leading in some area, maybe at work, things like that. But with that comes other things. So life's demands are there. Character, John Townsend says, is having the capacity to meet the demands of the realities of life. He also said your best skill is you. So my thoughts are, yep, let's use the skill you have in your hands and change the world. The Townsend model. It was described as competence and character model, which is biblically informed, research supported, and skills oriented. That's how the Townsend Institute described it. This program challenged me to learn the content that was provided, interact with my professors and classmates, and grow in competence and character. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Townsend character structure. And over here on the side, you see the tree. And I've really, one of the areas that I've really grown is using this tree to, in presentations I've made and just explaining what it is. And I always like to say what I first learned at the Townsend Institute is we often yell at the fruit. And we know that A lot of times we see bad fruit in the area in people's lives and their performance, people, personal, all those areas, and we yell at the fruit, but it's the fruit is really not the problem. We know that people have problems in their character, and we really need to start with the root system, which takes grace, truth, and time. Those are the nutrients that are needed in order to produce the right fruit. So I want to start with the first one, that is attachment. Attachment is an individual's ability to connect with others, be vulnerable, and express needs. And here in this chart, you see that people who have healthy attachment, these are the individuals who communicate their needs to those in relationships and they're in relationship with healthily. They look for relationships they can go deep in and really connect. This is really developed early on in life, starting with parental connection. Early on, they've had their needs met safely and healthily. They learn early that it is okay to connect with others. They've experienced positive outcomes from connecting to others. They're comfortable being vulnerable with others and expressing their needs and feelings. And they desire to be in relationships. So this is what healthy attachment look like? And so we know that if people don't have healthy attachment, then their fruit is not going to be very healthy either. The second part was separation. Separation is one's ability to separate from others. These individuals don't have to be anyone else. And I love that. I think having boundaries and being separate is so important. They are able to express their thoughts and values without feeling guilty about what others think of them or think of what others think of them. They can say no to others without feeling bad or feeling like they're hurting them. They have clear boundaries, and um, you have clear boundaries, and you also have very clear boundaries with others. Integration. I love this one. Integration is the ability to take the positive and the negative and have them work together. These are the individuals that they can have strong emotions, good or bad, and the good or the bad do not outweigh each other. They will not let a little bad destroy everything good about a situation, and all the positive and negative they allow all the positive and negative to be on the same level. And integration is one of those ones that I'm going to talk about this a little later that I find is so valuable, because I've always looked at people and thought, well, they're awfully negative or they're awfully positive. And even those who are extremely positive, there can be some issues with that. So we have to be able to integrate the two. And the last part of the character structure is adulthood. It's embracing life as an adult and not like a child. And we know we've seen those people who they seem to be an adult in one area, but in another area you're wondering, like, why are you so childish in that area? So in certain areas we may show that we're adults, in other areas we may not. So people who are strong in adulthood, they recognize they must move into areas where they must lead, take authority, operate in knowledge, and walk out one's purpose. They do adult things. They're no longer dependent, but become more independent, and they learn to handle adult things like money and careers. And those are the 4 parts of the character. My growth journey. Key areas of growth and insights in character development and competence development. So I've definitely been on a journey here throughout this program, and I personally see the growth in myself, and I believe that others have expressed they have seen it as well. So I want to walk through each one of each part of the character structure with you and share with you growth and insights for myself personally. And the first one I'm going to look at is attachment. And overall, I feel as though the 4 parts of the character structure I had never looked at that way, and that it is really the part that holds us up as individuals in our personal life, in our professional life. So just in overall general, I feel like throughout the course of this program, my understanding of each part has been crucial, And this understanding of attachment and how it impacts our lives and the lives of others. It has really given me the ability, I've been coaching for a while, but it's really been able to give me the ability to see with my clients that when there are attachment issues. I don't think before I knew how to, I guess, verbalize it or put a word to it, but walking through the Townsend program, and it has just really opened my eyes to identifying in clients, not only clients, but even within my own family and relationships, I'm able to say, wow, I think we have a struggle with attachment here. And so that has been just like so enlightening for me, and it helps me to navigate relationships and also helps me to navigate my clients when I am coaching them and really help them to move forward in the process that they're in achieving the goals when we identify attachment issues. And so I think my biggest insight in this area, that as a coach, how important it is in a healthy coaching relationship, how I can create, my client and I can create this environment where they can actually, if they're struggling with attachment and they haven't had healthy attachment and they're not able to connect, I am able to provide a coaching environment where they are able to begin the process of attachment and growing. And honestly, they may not even know it's happening, but they may find some safety there in the relationship they have with me and grow an attachment and be able to move that outside of the coaching environment. So that's been like the biggest, I don't think I realized how crucial the coaching relationship and engagement can be in helping someone to start out on a journey of growing in the area of attachment. Separation, growth, again, the same thing. I think each one of these is just understanding how separation fits into in with people, and my ability again to recognize this and call this out in my clients when I see that they're struggling with it. Not that I'm shouting at them, you have a boundaries problem. I mean, we may have to say that if it's that type of relationship, we've gotten to that place. But the ability to see this in my clients and really call this out and to help them to realize that they're not really going to move forward unless they do some work in the areas of separation, creating boundaries for them, or creating boundaries for themselves, or perhaps respecting other people's boundaries, because sometimes we can have clients that are not respecting others' boundaries. For myself personally in this area, I have grown tremendously. I've never really had a big problem with boundaries. I've always been one to be able to say no to what I need to say no to, and also to respect other people's boundaries. The one area that I discovered even from the beginning of the Institute, when we built our life teams and went through the processing groups, is sometimes I can have the tendency not to speak up when someone says something to me, that, not that people are totally rude or anything like that, but sometimes I let statements that are pointed at me. I was tending to just, I'm a bit of a peacemaker, so I would just let it go. And so one of the things that I've learned over the course of the last 18 months is to not just let some things go. If some comments I feel are just not, are not building me up like they should, then I have been learning to not allow people to talk to me any kind of way, make certain statements towards me. I'll speak up. And so that has been really, really, it's been really good for me. And I think people are noticing it, and they're being more careful about some words that may come towards me. So that has been really good. Another area is boundaries in the coaching relationship, knowing when I need to say no to the client, as in maybe they're asking me for things that I'm not willing to give, or time that I'm not willing to give. So I've grown in boundaries in coaching relationships as well. So insight, we really can't function effectively in life without understanding the role of boundaries or separation and how it plays out in our lives. And it's an area we must constantly grow in our personal and professional life. And I know this is going to be crucial for me to continue to stand up for myself, to continue to have boundaries in coaching relationships, because I tend to be one that would want to, spend an extra 15 minutes to help someone or that kind of thing. And can I ask you one more thing, or can we talk a little more and just learning to have those boundaries there? And it's an area I'll have to continue to grow in. Um, Integration, area of growth, just as, again, a sharper sense of awareness and integration, understanding again how it impacts our lives and the lives of others. I feel like in all of these areas, I just have more of a keen sense about all of them, the ability to see when myself and others are not integrating well, and balancing the positives and the negatives, and understanding that people can use the negative realities or being extremely positive or extremely negative to hide internally and relationally. I think that was one area that I hadn't really explored, and I think I'm growing more in the ability to see that, especially in coaching. That okay, this person is hiding behind those negative realities or those positive realities, and it's holding them back. Key insight here is being able to understand um, that integration helps me be more effective in helping my clients navigate the positive and negative realities, that when I am honed in on this in the coaching relationship, it really can have a tremendous impact on the clients. Adulthood. Again, understanding adulthood as part of the character, as part of character, and the impact it can have on people, recognizing and challenging people with understanding authority and purpose. So many people struggle with that, and just my ability to see that in relationships with clients and call that out, and understanding, okay, this is really holding them back from their purpose. Again, understanding that sometimes people can hide because they're in not walking in their purpose, or in not exercising the authority they have. We as individuals can even hide behind our childish ways, and not even desiring to move forward because we don't want to be responsible. And that can be a way that people hide. Major insight here: people who have a deficit in this area really struggle to find true fulfillment and reach their potential. I don't think before this course I would have looked at some of my clients who were struggling and thought that they're just really not, haven't grown in the area of adulthood, and that's why they're struggling with purpose. And it's going to be a struggle for them unless they do understand that they have to embrace adulthood and do adult things and make adult decisions and be willing to do the hard stuff. Competency development. Man, I looked at this in the area of coaching and consultant, and coaching in the ICF competencies. As I mentioned before, I was already a certified personal and executive coach, but I feel like throughout this course, as we have moved along, it really did make me go back and really focus on the different parts of the competencies. And maintaining presence was a huge one. That was one that we talked about a lot and we practiced a lot. And in a lot of the coaching, especially with Dr. Jill, she would talk about like just being present. And so I felt like I really, really grew in that area of learning to be present with my clients, active listening. I was I have been coaching all along as we've been doing this program because I was already coaching, and I've seen how with my clients I have just been so much more attentive to listening to them. Silence, I've learned to grow in the area of being silent. I learned it a lot in my practicum, and I think that's an area that I've grown and I see the benefit of it. Question stacking was one that Dr. Jill was always pointing out to me, and I'm seeing growth in that area even in my personal life. I'm not like asking people how they're doing and then moving on to another question so quickly. Another big area of growth was coaching the person and not the problem. I never really thought about that. I just was just coaching and realized that sometimes we can coach the problem and not the person. So that's been an area. Personalizing my executive coaching style. I don't even know if I would have said I felt comfortable coaching, being an executive coach, but throughout the process of this program, and also in the practicum, I think I pretty much developed my own style, executive coaching style, and I feel really good about it. And I feel as though I'm more confident about being even classified or called an executive coach. In the area of consulting, I really didn't know a lot about how to incorporate consulting into my coaching business, but now I have a clear understanding of the difference between the two and how it's easy in coaching. You could easily in a coaching session get caught into consulting, but now I know how to bring that component of consulting into my business, but keep it separate from the coaching. So how now I know how to incorporate that as a component of my coaching business. I'm really excited about that. Understanding the process of consulting from the initial coaching engagement to closure, contracting, discovery, feedback, implementation, and also the closing. So those are some of the areas I just feel way more competent in. This came from my practicum, and it also helps me to realize how I have grown as a coach. And it was the testimony from the man that I coached for my practicum. He said, I recently concluded a 12-week executive coaching protocol with Lisa. I have been in leadership for most of my life and was aware of some of the tools for organizing productivity and communication. But these 12 30-minute sessions with Lisa gave me the motivation, accountability, and dialogue I needed to take some huge steps. I found new tools that worked for me, shifted a dozen things that needed to move, completed several tasks that have been languishing, and took hold of new tasks I have been dreading. I am energized, working incredibly more effectively and productively, far less effort, stress, and resistance. My entire division is benefiting from my time spent with Lisa. Best 12 sessions of my life. So that was definitely an encouragement in all of the things that I've learned in the last 18 months. And so I was really excited about that testimonial. Desired path for personal and professional growth beyond the Townsend Institute. Continued learning and development. I'm a part of the CAP Institute, and they have roundtables, and I've been horrible about doing those roundtables, but I need to get back into them now that I have completed this program. And I think that will help me stay engaged with other people coaching. And also she brings in some really powerful people onto those coaching podcasts. I think I need to figure out a way to find some podcasts that of coaches and start to listening. I try to go to a leadership conference every year, so looking for talk to a friend about maybe going to some type of coaching conference. That would be helpful. Stay connected to the Townsend Institute resources. I'm sure that there are some resources there that I can tap into, and completing my ICF certification. Networking and mentorship is another thing that is going to be important in my growth. I'm a part of a small group of women. We just put ourselves together and we call ourselves Women Who Love Our Businesses or Their Businesses. The husband actually named it because we would just get together and talk about our business. And he said, you should just actually start a little group called Women Who Love Their Businesses. So we did. And we meet monthly. One month we meet in person, and then the other month we meet virtually. I want to pursue the CAP Institute also has a mentoring program, and because I'm already connected, I get information about it all the time, and I just let it go. So I really need to look into it. It's going to be an investment. I'm going to have to pay for it, but I think I'm at the place where I'm ready to do that. Coaching supervision, just the program that being in the institute and having the coping supervision was so beneficial. And William, you were a part of the supervision that I did, so definitely want to do that. The Chamber of Commerce here in our community is a great way for me to connect, and they have a women's um, group, women's Chamber of Commerce, that I think will be beneficial for me to grow in and be a part of. My personal legacy statement. And to the side here, you see a picture because I have a friend. Actually, I found out through Ancestry that she's actually my cousin. And before I started this, she started writing what's called My Leaf Story. She believes that we should leave a legacy to our family and the world around us. And so she's actually started My Leaf Story. She's interviewed me. And so I actually do have this coming out soon. It's honoring and celebrating a lasting legacy of Lisa Johnson. And it's called, and I thought this was the appropriate place to put that there. But this is my personal legacy statement. I aspire to leave a legacy of profound impact and transformation that echoes through my family, local community, and the world. As a disciple and leader, I desire that the love I've shown through the gifts God has entrusted to me inspires others to discover and steward their God-given gifts. My hope is that my life serves as a partnership with others, guiding them to transform their lives in a way that continuously calls forth the unique potential within them. As people embrace their potential, I believe this will create a lasting ripple effect, empowering them to benefit the world in extraordinary ways. By walking daily in my unique legacy, I aim to spark a domino effect that leads to a world where everyone recognizes and walks in their full potential, leaving a mark that endures for generations. And that is my legacy statement. That is what I hope to leave behind. In concluding, I just want to say that I thank both of you for listening to my presentation. I think that the Townsend Institute has definitely been a journey. It was challenging as an adult learner, being a missionary and traveling. However, I made it to the finish line, and I am so grateful for the life team that I started with in the beginning. Some of them we have not met regularly, but some of them I am still very much connected to, and just grateful for this journey, and know that it is going to not only benefit me, but going to benefit so many others. And just encourage you all to continue to grow, and hopefully I can stay connected with the people that I've connected with here at Townsend Institute, and look forward to growing together. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Very nice, Lisa.
Thank
So
you.
good. So good.
Thank you.
I loved all the pictures of your family. Man, you've got so many people. It was like
Yeah.
wonderful to hear, to see that side of you as well.
Yeah. I love that too. That was good.
Question.
The only question I was wondering about was just how do you see this ever being like the full-time gig, or
Okay, so for me, I think eventually that I will pursue this. I see this as kind of my nest egg for when I decide that I'm done with traveling and missions and all of that. And I'm also incorporating this into the organization that I'm with. But I see this as a little nest egg as I'm transitioning out of full time, but definitely keeping the flame going as I am doing the things that I'm doing.
Mhm.
That's
Cool.
great. As part of your growth plan, Lisa, I was curious, what have you thought, and this may be early, but what have you thought about in terms of building what you're currently doing within the organization? Because in our practicum, you were coaching there. in the role that you're in already, which is amazing. And what have you thought about doing in terms of creating that as your launch pad for what comes next?
Absolutely. Interesting you say that, but I tell them that all the time. I'm like, this is really, it's really a sandbox for me to really test out and try the different things. And they definitely give me that opportunity to do that. So whatever I've learned in class, I take it straight to the organization and utilize it. So definitely will, it's building confidence in me to be able to do it. I think there will also be, our organization is growing and expanding. So I think out of the relationships that we're building as an organization, it's really going to build a platform for me to do that. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's
I
really,
would say also build a platform in terms of what it might look like on your LinkedIn profile as well. You know, head of leadership development at Tribal Nations, whatever. You know, yeah, Go to Nations. Whatever that looks like. That sort of gives you sort of instant credibility because of the work that you have done and worked so hard to develop there.
that's great. I didn't, that's good, William. Thank you for that feedback.
That is a great idea. I think people do, it's if they see that you've done this inside an organization, like that's, for some people, that may be the only vetting they need.
Yep, that's true. Thank you. That's great feedback.
Yay.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Anything else? Any other questions?
I just want to say, I want to affirm how you've managed to like call in from such obscure place
I
during a
agree.
practicum.
I-
You were calling in from like a school bus in the middle of some village in like
How
who
about in
knows where.
Honduras?
I agree. I'm like, it's not
Maybe
where's Waldo, where's Lisa? Yeah,
Yes, totally. And that was just wow. If Lisa can do this from some obscure part of the world, I have no excuse not to get my stuff done. So
yep,
anyway, it was
And I started,
inspiring. It
and
was,
maybe I shouldn't be saying this on the recording, but whatever. I started most of my project on, I've been thinking about it the entire time, and my entire team that I was with was like, you've been talking about that project a lot, because I was thinking about it, but I actually started it on the plane.
oh, wow, amazing. Well done.
All right, well, that's it. I'm gonna stop recording. Chrissy, you're